Hi everyone, Vincenzo here. Today I want to answer a question that I often get asked and that I believe is an interesting topic for a lot of you here. So the question is, why do you need a capo? Or when do you really need to use a capo, shall I say? As always with music, there isn't a straightforward answer. But let me tell you that the capo wasn't really invented to avoid learning difficult chords or to avoid playing in keys that are not the ukulele friendly. The reason why you use a capo is to preserve the nature of the sound of the open strings. To be clearer, say you have a song that goes like this. So I was in the key of C and I was using the open strings. But then let's say that for some reason I need to change the key of this song. I don't know, perhaps the key is not comfortable for the singer and so the song has to be transposed in E. And as you can imagine, instead of an easy C chord, I now have to play the dreaded E. However, my song was based on this riff that was played with open strings. And remember, open strings have a unique sound because they ring out more. So this is a perfect example of when you need to use a capo. If I simply change from C to E, my riff will sound different. You see? Even if I use the exact same shape I use for C, but simply 4 frets down, it still doesn't sound the same. In fact, the best way to achieve the initial sound that I was obtaining because of the open strings is to keep using open strings and therefore put a capo on fret 4. Let's see. There you go, now it's very close to my initial riff. On the other hand, say you have this very common chord progression in the key of A minor, but you need to change it to C sharp minor, and so it becomes this. In this case, you don't really need to use a capo. In fact, I should say you shouldn't use a capo, but that's my opinion. I know that it's easier with a capo, but then again, it's not needed. And one more thing, bear in mind that instead of using a capo, you could be looking at alternative chord shapes, and that would be much more interesting. Another practical example of when using a capo is really useful is again connected to changing the key. Let's say you're singing and you need to understand which key suits your voice more. You could move the capo on the fretboard until you find the key that works for you. But after that, work out the proper chords. Okay, so this was my answer to this common topic. In short, use a capo only when needed to preserve the nature, the sound of the song, not to simply play easier chords. Of course, there's a heated debate on this topic and let me know what you think about it in the comments. By the way, if you like this video and especially if you learned something from it, consider supporting my channel. You can buy me a coffee or you can join my Patreon. Links are in the description. That's all for now. Let me know in the comments if there's a topic that you would like me to discuss for my next video. And by the way, if you're looking for alternative chord shapes that perhaps you can use instead of using a capo, check out this tutorial. Having said that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my new tutorials. And of course, if you need any help, simply get in touch. Ciao!